Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. The mahogany conference table reflected the lights overhead as Isaiah straightened his navy blue tie and shuffled through the quarterly reports. His charcoal gray suit hung perfectly on his athletic frame, the product of early morning gym sessions before the trading floor opened. At 32, he'd climbed the corporate ladder faster than most, earning his place as Senior Vice President of Strategic Operations at Meridian Financial Group. Outstanding numbers this quarter, the CEO's voice boomed from the head of the table. But we need to talk about something else today. Isaiah looked up from his papers, noticing the HR director sliding a glossy brochure across the polished surface. The cover showed a serene mountain lodge surrounded by pine trees, with Executive Leadership Transformation Retreat, printed in elegant gold letters. What's this about? Isaiah picked up the brochure, flipping through pages of meditation gardens and conference rooms. The board has concerns about our diversity metrics. The HR director, a woman in her 50s wearing a cream-colored blazer, folded her hands. We're sending select male executives to this specialized program. It's designed to enhance leadership qualities and create a more balanced corporate culture. Isaiah's brow furrowed. I don't understand. My performance reviews are stellar. This isn't about performance. The CEO leaned back in his leather chair. Consider it professional development. The retreat uses cutting-edge psychological techniques to unlock potential. You leave Friday. The meeting ended with no room for negotiation. Isaiah found himself packing a weekend bag Thursday night, tossing in casual clothes and his laptop. His auburn hair caught the bedroom light as he zipped the bag shut, wondering what kind of corporate nonsense awaited him in the mountains. Friday morning arrived crisp and clear. Isaiah drove his black BMW up winding mountain roads, following GPS directions to a secluded compound 3 hours from the city. The lodge looked exactly like the brochure, rustic luxury nestled among towering evergreens. Other cars filled the parking lot, all high-end vehicles that screamed executive privilege. Welcome to Transformation Lodge. A woman in a forest green dress greeted him at the entrance. You must be Isaiah. I'm Dr. Whitmore, the program director. She led him through wood-paneled hallways, decorated with abstract art and motivational quotes about change and growth. His room was simple but elegant. King bed, leather armchair, view of the mountains. A schedule on the desk outlined the weekend. Meditation, group sessions, consciousness expansion exercises. Dinner is at 6 in the main hall. Dr. Whitmore smiled, her eyes holding something Isaiah couldn't quite identify. Dress comfortably. This weekend is about letting go of rigid structures. Isaiah changed into jeans and a black t-shirt, feeling oddly underdressed without his usual business attire. The dining hall buzzed with conversation as 24 men in similar casual wear talked over salmon and quinoa. He recognized a few faces from industry events, all senior management, all male. Gentlemen, welcome. Dr. Whitmore stood at a podium after dinner. This weekend will challenge your perceptions. Our methods may seem unconventional, but I assure you, the results speak for themselves. Your company's invested significantly in this program because it works. The first evening session took place in a dimly lit room with comfortable recliners arranged in a circle. Soft music played as Dr. Whitmore guided them through breathing exercises. Isaiah felt his skepticism melting into unexpected relaxation. Now I want you to imagine yourself free from all constraints. Her voice floated through the darkness. No expectations, no roles to play, just pure potential. Isaiah's eyelids grew heavy. The music seemed to pulse with his heartbeat. Dr. Whitmore's words became distant, dreamlike. He floated in warm darkness, occasionally aware of strange suggestions whispered at the edge of consciousness. Something about softness, about beauty, about transformation. He woke in his bed Saturday morning with no memory of returning to his room. Sunlight streamed through the windows. His head felt foggy, but not unpleasant. As he showered, Isaiah found himself studying his reflection longer than usual. His auburn hair seemed to catch the light differently. His face looked... he couldn't place it. Softer, somehow. Breakfast passed in a blur of organic eggs and fresh fruit. The other executives seemed equally dazed, moving through the buffet line with glazed expressions. Morning sessions focused on breaking through barriers and embracing change, more breathing exercises, more of Dr. Whitmore's hypnotic voice. Gender roles are simply constructs. The words drifted through another darkened room. Success has no gender. Beauty has no gender. You are whatever you choose to become. Time became elastic. Sessions blended together. Isaiah remembered fragments, staring at fashion magazines during a visual meditation, touching silk scarves during a sensory awareness exercise. His reflection in mirrors seemed to shift each time he looked, something stirring beneath the surface of his consciousness, trying to break free. Saturday evening brought individual consultations. Isaiah sat across from Dr. Whitmore in her office, walls lined with certificates in neurolinguistic programming and clinical hypnotherapy. "How are you feeling?" She studied him over wire-rimmed glasses. "Different." The word came out before he could stop it. "Like something's changing inside me." "Good. Change is growth." She made notes on a tablet. "Tell me, Isaiah, have you ever wondered what it would be like to experience life from a completely different perspective?" "I don't understand." "Your company needs leaders who can embody diverse viewpoints, who can truly understand different experiences." She leaned forward. "What if you could gain that understanding not through theory, but through transformation?" The conversation grew hazier. More hypnotic suggestions, images flashing on a screen, successful women in boardrooms, powerful females commanding respect. Isaiah felt his resistance crumbling like sand castles against an incoming tide. Sunday arrived like a fever dream. Isaiah woke with an overwhelming urge he couldn't name. His hands shook as he dressed in his jeans and t-shirt. The fabric felt wrong against his skin. Too rough, too masculine. The thought startled him, but he couldn't shake it. Final sessions passed in deep trance. Dr. Whitmore's voice rewired neural pathways, planted seeds that would bloom in the coming days. Isaiah surrendered to the process, no longer sure where his thoughts ended and the programming began. "When you return to your life, you'll notice changes." Her final words echoed as the retreat concluded. "Don't resist them. Your true self is emerging." The drive home felt surreal. Isaiah gripped the steering wheel, his mind churning with strange desires. Passing a shopping mall, he felt an inexplicable pull. Before he could rationalize it, he was walking through department store doors like a sleepwalker. The cosmetics counter drew him like a magnet. Rows of lipstick gleamed under bright lights. His hand reached out, fingers tracing tubes of red. Crimson, scarlet, ruby. A sales associate approached. "Can I help you find something?" "Red lipstick." The words tumbled out. Something bold. If she found it strange, her commission-focused smile didn't show it. She selected several shades, swatching them on the back of his hand. Isaiah stared at the streaks of color on his skin, feeling a rush of rightness he couldn't explain. "This one." He pointed to a deep red called Confidence. "Excellent choice. Anything else?" The question opened floodgates. Isaiah wandered the store in a trance, drawn to things he'd never noticed before. A silk blouse in ivory, a pencil skirt in black, heels that made his heart race for reasons he couldn't understand. He left with shopping bags he couldn't quite believe were his. Monday morning, Isaiah stared at his closet full of suits. They looked like costumes from another life. His fingers found the shopping bags hidden in the back. Just to see, he told himself, just to understand these strange compulsions. The lipstick went on first, his hand steady despite never having applied makeup before. The red transformed his mouth, made his auburn hair seem to glow. The silk blouse slipped over his shoulders like water. The skirt hugged his hips. The heels changed everything. His posture, his walk, his entire sense of self. Isaiah called in sick, spending the day staring at his reflection. This wasn't him. Couldn't be him. But it felt more real than any suit ever had. Tuesday brought stronger compulsions. He found himself at a salon, asking for a more feminine cut for his auburn hair. The stylist worked magic, creating layers that framed his face beautifully. Wednesday saw him at a boutique, building a complete wardrobe. Dresses, blouses, skirts, shoes. Each purchase felt like coming home. By Thursday, Isaiah couldn't imagine putting on his old clothes. He stood before his bathroom mirror, fully dressed in a burgundy sheath dress and black pumps, makeup perfect. The person staring back wasn't Isaiah anymore. She was someone new, someone who'd been waiting inside all along. Nevaeh. The name came unbidden. Heaven spelled backward. A new beginning. Friday morning, Nevaeh walked into Meridian Financial Group with her head high. The burgundy dress hugged her curves that seemed more pronounced now, though she couldn't explain why. Her black pumps clicked confidently on marble floors. Heads turned, whispers followed, but she felt only certainty. Isaiah? Her assistant's eyes widened. Is that you? It's Nevaeh now. Her voice had found a new register, soft but commanding. Please update all my records. HR processed the legal name change with surprising efficiency. The CEO smiled when she entered the boardroom for the morning meeting, as if he'd expected exactly this. The knowing looks among upper management suggested the retreat's true purpose had never been a secret. Welcome back, Nevaeh. He gestured to her usual seat. I trust the retreat was transformative? Very. She smoothed her dress and opened her portfolio. Shall we discuss the Singapore expansion? Days became weeks. Nevaeh excelled in her role with newfound perspective. Her presentations carried a different energy. Clients responded to her differently, some with initial surprise, but ultimately with the same respect she'd always commanded. The company's diversity metrics improved dramatically as 3 other executives returned from similar retreats with new identities. The neural pathways Dr. Whitmore had carved ran deep. Nevaeh occasionally remembered being Isaiah, but those memories felt like old photographs, real but distant. Her new reality consumed her. Shopping for clothes became a joy rather than a chore. Applying makeup each morning felt like an artist preparing her canvas. How do you feel about leading the new Women in Finance initiative? The CEO asked during her quarterly review. Nevaeh smiled, her red lips perfect as always. I'd be honored. She thought back to that weekend in the mountains sometimes. The hypnosis that had rewritten her from the inside out. Some might call it manipulation, corporate engineering at its most invasive. But sitting in her corner office, watching the city lights twinkle beyond floor-to-ceiling windows, Nevaeh felt only gratitude. The retreat had promised transformation, and it had delivered. The company got their female executive for the diversity quotas. But more than that, Nevaeh had discovered a truth buried so deep she'd never have found it on her own. The programming hadn't created someone new. It had revealed who she'd always been underneath the navy suits and power ties. Her assistant knocked, entering with afternoon coffee. Your 3 o'clock is here. Send them in. Nevaeh stood, smoothing her dress. Today, a deep plum that complemented her auburn hair perfectly. The client entered, doing a double take. Isaiah? I'm sorry, I was expecting... Nevaeh. She extended a manicured hand. I transitioned recently. Now let's discuss your portfolio. Business continued as always, just with better shoes. The markets didn't care about gender identity. Numbers were numbers. But Nevaeh brought something extra now, an authenticity that resonated with clients and colleagues alike. Months passed. The company's transformation initiative expanded quietly. More executives attended weekend retreats. Some returned unchanged. Others, like Nevaeh, emerged as their true selves. The corporate landscape shifted, diversity metrics soared, and nobody questioned the methods. Nevaeh moved through her new life with grace, earned through fire. Every morning she selected from her extensive wardrobe, jewel-toned dresses, elegant suits with feminine cuts, silk blouses in every shade. Her makeup routine had become meditation, each stroke of mascara an affirmation of her identity. You seem happy, her colleague Margaret observed over lunch one day. Nevaeh considered this, twirling pasta on her fork. I am. Happier than I've ever been. The retreat really changed you. It revealed me, Nevaeh corrected gently. There's a difference. Margaret nodded slowly. They've scheduled me for next month. Are you nervous? Terrified. Margaret laughed shakily. But seeing how you flourished, maybe change isn't so bad. Nevaeh reached across the table, squeezing her friend's hand. Trust the process. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be. That evening, Nevaeh attended a corporate gala in a floor-length emerald gown. Her auburn hair was styled in an elegant updo, diamond earrings catching the light. She moved through the crowd with ease, discussing mergers and acquisitions with industry titans who'd known her before and accepted her now. "Neve, wonderful to see you." The mayor's wife air-kissed her cheeks. "You look absolutely stunning." "Thank you." Nevea sipped champagne, comfortable in her skin in ways Isaiah never could have imagined. The band played jazz standards as couples danced. A handsome man from a rival firm asked her to dance, and Nevea accepted, following his lead across the floor. Her dress swirled around her legs, her heels keeping perfect time. In his arms, she felt desired and powerful, a combination that would have terrified Isaiah but thrilled Nevea. "I have to ask," her dance partner said as the song ended. "The transformation, was it difficult?" Nevea considered the question. The hypnosis had made it easier, certainly. The compulsions that drove her to lipstick and silk had felt overwhelming, but not unwelcome, like a dam breaking, releasing pressure that had built for decades. The only difficult part was waiting so long to begin. He spun her once more as the music faded. "Well, the wait was worth it. You're radiant." Compliments like these had become common. Nevea accepted them graciously, understanding they weren't just about her appearance. The confidence she exuded, the authenticity she embodied, these drew people like moths to flame. The gala ended near midnight. Nevea's driver navigated city streets while she reviewed emails on her phone. A message from Dr. Whitmore caught her eye. "I hope you're well. The board is thrilled with the program's success. Your transformation has inspired others to take the leap. Thank you for trusting the process." Nevea smiled, typing a quick reply. "Thank you for showing me who I really am." Home was a penthouse apartment with skyline views. Nevea kicked off her heels, padding barefoot across hardwood floors. Her walk-in closet had expanded significantly, filled with designer dresses and shoes that sparked joy every time she entered. She removed her jewelry carefully, placing each piece in its designated spot. The emerald gown hung on its special hanger. Face cream removed her makeup, revealing skin that seemed softer these days, more luminous. Whether from the extensive skincare routine she'd adopted or something deeper, she couldn't say. In silk pajamas, Nevea sat at her vanity, brushing her auburn hair. 100 strokes, just like her grandmother used to do. The ritual soothed her, connected her to femininity across generations. Isaiah had never understood such rituals. Nevea treasured them. Her reflection smiled back, a woman at peace with herself. The corporate world hadn't changed much. Still cutthroat, still demanding. But navigating it as Nevea felt natural in ways Isaiah's existence never had. She brought emotional intelligence to boardrooms, fostered collaboration over competition. The company's profits had never been higher. Tomorrow, she told her reflection, the Tokyo deal closes. She'd fly first class, wearing her lucky navy dress with the gold buttons. Her presentation was flawless, her team prepared. Being Nevea hadn't made her soft. It had made her unstoppable. The combination of shrewd business acumen and feminine intuition proved formidable. The bedroom windows framed a city that never slept. Nevea settled into Egyptian cotton sheets, her mind already strategizing tomorrow's negotiations. Some nights, she dreamed of that mountain lodge, of Dr. Whitmore's voice guiding her deeper and deeper. But mostly, she dreamed of futures yet to be written, deals yet to close, glass ceilings yet to shatter. Morning came with possibility. Nevea rose early, beginning her routine with yoga, something Isaiah had mocked, but she embraced. The stretches felt different in her body now, more fluid and graceful. Breakfast was avocado toast and green tea, fuel for another day of corporate conquest. Her navy dress fit perfectly, as everything in her wardrobe did now. She'd learned her body's new dimensions, how to dress to impress without sacrificing professionalism. Gold jewelry added elegance without ostentation. Her makeup was boardroom perfect, polished but not overdone. "Good morning, Ms. Nevea." The doorman tipped his hat as she entered the lobby. "Morning, Robert." She smiled warmly. The entire building staff had adjusted to her transition without missing a beat, their easy acceptance a gift she didn't take for granted. Her driver waited outside, the black town car gleaming in morning sun. During the ride to the airport, Nevea reviewed her notes one final time. The Tokyo deal would establish Meridian Financial as a major player in Asian markets. She'd worked on this for months, first as Isaiah, now as herself. Completing it felt like destiny. The first-class lounge provided quiet space to make final calls. Her team was already in Tokyo preparing the conference room. Everything hinged on her presentation, her ability to convince conservative Japanese businessmen that Meridian was their ideal partner. "Neve?" A familiar voice interrupted her concentration. She looked up to find David from the retreat, though he went by Diana now. Her blonde hair fell in waves around a face that radiated the same peace Nevea felt. She wore a coral dress that complemented her fair skin perfectly. "Diana, how wonderful to see you!" They embraced, two souls who'd walked the same transformative path. "I'm heading to Hong Kong." Diana settled into the adjacent chair. "Closing a real estate deal that'll make my year. You?" "Tokyo. If all goes well, we'll have offices across Asia by year end." They talked shop until boarding calls separated them. Diana squeezed her hand before departing. "We're proof the program works. Look at us, thriving beyond what we ever imagined." The flight passed quickly. Nevea used the time to perfect her presentation, practicing phrases in Japanese she'd been studying. Landing in Tokyo at dawn, she felt energized rather than jet-lagged. Her body seemed to handle travel better now, as if the transformation had optimized more than just her appearance. The Meridian team met her at the hotel, a mix of familiar faces who'd known Isaiah and new hires who only knew Nevea. Both groups treated her with equal respect, focused on the task ahead rather than the journey behind. The conference room is set. Her assistant, a young woman named Yuki, handed her the final agenda. Mr. Tanaka's team arrives at 10. Nevea had 3 hours to prepare. She used them wisely, reviewing numbers, adjusting her presentation for cultural nuances, ensuring every detail was perfect. When she entered the conference room at 9:45, she embodied confidence in her navy dress and subtle gold accessories. The Japanese delegation arrived precisely on time. 6 men in identical black suits, their expressions carefully neutral. Mr. Tanaka, the lead negotiator, was known for his traditional views. Some had worried he wouldn't take a female executive seriously. Nevea saw it as an opportunity to prove them wrong. "Tanaka-san," she bowed perfectly, her Japanese pronunciation flawless. "Thank you for considering Meridian Financial as your partner." His eyes widened slightly, surprise at her cultural awareness, perhaps, or at the authority she projected despite her feminine presentation. The slight nod he returned showed respect, a promising start. The presentation flowed like music. Nevea commanded the room, switching seamlessly between English and Japanese, between hard numbers and strategic vision. Her navy dress never wrinkled despite hours of standing. Her voice never wavered despite the stakes. "Your expansion strategy is impressive," Mr. Tanaka spoke during the lunch break. "You understand our market better than most Western executives. Understanding requires more than study." Nevea selected sushi with practiced chopstick skills. "It requires transformation of perspective." He studied her thoughtfully. "You speak as one who has experienced such transformation." "I have." She met his gaze directly. "It's made me a better leader." The afternoon brought harder negotiations. Numbers flew across conference tables. Lawyers debated contract language. Through it all, Nevea remained centered, finding solutions where Isaiah might have forced confrontation. Her approach, firm but collaborative, resonated with the Japanese preference for harmony. By evening, exhaustion tugged at everyone except Nevea. She seemed to draw energy from the process, her auburn hair still perfectly styled, her makeup still fresh. When Mr. Tanaka finally extended his hand across the table, she knew they'd won. "Meridian Financial has found an excellent representative in you, Nevea-san." His handshake was firm. "We look forward to a profitable partnership." The signing ceremony took place the next morning. Photographers captured the moment. Nevea, in a cream-colored suit dress, shaking hands with Tokyo's business elite. The images would run in financial papers globally, showcasing Meridian's expansion and subtly their commitment to diversity. Flying home, Nevea felt triumph tinged with reflection. The deal was everything she'd worked for, validation of her abilities in her new identity. But more than that, it proved that the retreat's transformation had unlocked potential Isaiah never could have accessed. Back in her corner office, flowers from the CEO waited on her desk. The card read simply, "Exceptional work. The board is thrilled." Richard. Nevaeh arranged the orchids in a crystal vase, their purple blooms complementing her office's decor. Her assistant brought coffee and the morning's schedule. Life continued its rhythm, but with harmonies Isaiah had never heard. "The Women in Finance initiative launches next week," her assistant reminded her. "Your keynote is Tuesday." Nevaeh nodded, already mentally preparing her speech. She'd share her story carefully, focusing on transformation and authenticity without revealing the hypnotic methods that had facilitated her journey. Some truths were better kept close. That evening, she attended a charity auction in a black cocktail dress that emphasized her figure. The cause, scholarships for young women entering finance, resonated deeply. Nevaeh bid generously, her paddle raising for items that would have bored Isaiah senseless. $20,000 for the sapphire necklace. The auctioneer's hammer fell. "Sold to Ms. Nevaeh." She'd wear it to the next board meeting, a reminder that success and femininity weren't mutually exclusive. The Old Boys Club was evolving, one transformed executive at a time. Weeks blended into months. Nevaeh's life found its rhythm. Morning yoga, perfectly applied makeup, designer clothes that made her feel powerful. Days filled with meetings, negotiations, strategic planning. Evenings at cultural events, building networks that spanned industries. The Women in Finance initiative exceeded all projections. Young women flooded Meridian's internship program, inspired by leaders like Nevaeh, who proved that glass ceilings were meant to be shattered. She mentored eagerly, sharing wisdom earned through transformation. "How do you balance femininity with authority?" a young analyst asked during a mentoring lunch. Nevaeh considered her salad, choosing words carefully. "I don't balance them. They're not opposing forces. My femininity enhances my authority, gives me perspectives and strengths that make me more effective." The analyst nodded eagerly, taking notes. These conversations mattered to Nevaeh, passing forward what the retreat had given her, not the hypnosis, but the freedom to be authentic. 1 year after the retreat, Nevaeh received an invitation printed on expensive cardstock. Dr. Whitmore was hosting a reunion for program graduates. The same mountain lodge, a weekend to reconnect and reflect. She packed carefully, the burgundy dress she'd worn that first day back, new pieces that showed her evolved style. The drive felt familiar, yet different. Last time, Isaiah had made this journey. Now Nevaeh returned, complete in ways she couldn't have imagined. The lodge looked unchanged, but the parking lot told a different story. Expensive cars with feminine touches, a pink steering wheel cover here, a designer purse visible there. The transformation program had clearly expanded. "Nevaeh!" Diana rushed over, embracing her warmly. Her coral dress had been replaced by emerald green, but her joy remained constant. "Can you believe it's been a year?" They entered together, finding the lodge full of familiar faces in unfamiliar presentations. Former male executives had bloomed into confident women, each finding their own style and grace. The energy buzzed with shared experience and mutual support. "Welcome back, ladies." Dr. Whitmore appeared unchanged, her forest green dress identical to that first meeting. This weekend isn't about further transformation. It's about celebration and community. The sessions focused on integration rather than change. They shared stories of challenges overcome, victories achieved. Nevaeh learned she wasn't alone in her success. Every transformed executive reported improved performance, deeper client relationships, more authentic leadership. "The science behind the program is fascinating," Dr. Whitmore explained during a casual lecture. "We didn't create anything new in your minds. We simply removed barriers to existing potential." Isaiah always had Nevaeh inside. The hypnosis just cleared the path. That night, they gathered around a bonfire, designer dresses replaced by comfortable loungewear. Nevaeh wore silk pajamas in deep purple, her auburn hair loose around her shoulders. The flames danced as they shared deeper truths. "I fought it at first," a woman named Veronica admitted. "The compulsions felt so foreign, but once I surrendered, it was like coming home," Nevaeh finished. "I know exactly what you mean." They talked until dawn, bonds forged through shared transformation. When the weekend ended, they exchanged numbers and promises to support each other. A sisterhood born from corporate manipulation had become something genuine and powerful. Driving home, Nevaeh felt complete in ways that transcended the program's original intent. Yes, Meridian Financial had gotten their female executive for diversity metrics, but she'd gotten so much more: authenticity, purpose, a life aligned with her true self. Monday morning brought new challenges. A hostile takeover attempt required all her skills to navigate. Nevaeh led the defense in a sharp red suit, her presence commanding the war room. Charts covered walls, strategy sessions ran late, but she never wavered. "They're backing down," her CFO announced after 2 weeks of intense negotiations. "Your counteroffer scared them off." Victory tasted sweet, made sweeter by achieving it as herself. The board voted her a substantial bonus, which she used to establish a scholarship fund for transgender women entering business. The circle of transformation widened with each success. Years passed. Nevaeh rose to CEO, the first woman to hold the position in Meridian's history. Her corner office became a penthouse suite. Her wardrobe expanded to include custom designs from Paris and Milan, but the core remained unchanged. The auburn-haired woman who'd emerged from that mountain retreat, ready to conquer the world in heels. "Tell me about your journey," a reporter asked during a Forbes interview. Nevaeh chose her words carefully, as always. "I attended a corporate retreat that changed my perspective. It helped me understand that success doesn't require sacrificing authenticity. My transformation made me a better leader." The article ran with a photo of her in signature burgundy, the color she'd worn that first day as herself. The headline read, "Breaking Barriers: How CEO Nevaeh Transformed Meridian Financial and Herself." Letters poured in from around the world. Young women inspired by her story, closeted executives seeking courage, parents trying to understand transgender children. Nevaeh responded when she could, always encouraging authenticity and bravery. The retreat program expanded nationwide, though its methods remained shrouded in corporate secrecy. Nevaeh occasionally consulted with Dr. Whitmore, helping refine techniques that had worked so well for her. Not everyone needed hypnosis to transform, but for those who did, the program offered a path. "We're changing corporate culture one executive at a time," Dr. Whitmore observed during one consultation. "You were our prototype, Nevaeh, our greatest success. I prefer to think of myself as your first butterfly." Nevaeh smoothed her silk dress. "You provided the cocoon. I chose to emerge." Her influence extended beyond Meridian Financial. Speaking engagements at business schools, consulting for companies seeking authentic diversity. Always professional, always feminine, always unapologetically herself. The transformation that began with mysterious compulsions for red lipstick had evolved into something profound. Nevaeh embodied possibility, proof that change could be both dramatic and successful. Her story, carefully edited to omit the hypnotic origins, inspired thousands. "What advice would you give your former self?" a student asked during a Harvard Business School lecture. Nevaeh paused, her red lips curving into a knowing smile. "Stop fighting who you're meant to be. The retreat showed me truths I'd buried deep. Isaiah was the mask. Nevaeh was always the reality waiting to emerge." The auditorium erupted in applause. Young women saw possibility in her success. Young men saw that strength came in many forms. Faculty saw the future of business, diverse, authentic, transformative. That evening, Nevaeh returned to her penthouse, slipping out of her lecture attire into comfortable silk. The city sparkled beyond her windows, full of potential and challenge. Tomorrow brought new deals, new opportunities to prove that transformation wasn't just possible, but profitable. She poured a glass of wine, settling into her favorite chair with quarterly reports. The numbers told stories of growth and success. But between the lines, Nevaeh read a deeper narrative, of a program that had rewritten more than just her wardrobe preferences. The neural pathways Dr. Whitmore had carved still hummed beneath her consciousness. The compulsions had faded, replaced by genuine preference. She chose dresses because they felt right, applied makeup because she enjoyed the ritual. The hypnosis had been scaffolding. The life she'd built was entirely her own. Her phone buzzed with a text from Diana. "Dinner Thursday, the usual place?" Nevaeh smiled, typing back, "Wouldn't miss it. Wear something fabulous." Their monthly dinners had become tradition, a chance to connect with someone who truly understood the journey. They'd swap stories of boardroom triumphs and fashion finds, celebrating lives transformed in the most unexpected ways. As midnight approached, Nevaeh prepared for bed with the same care she brought to billion-dollar deals. Skincare routine complete, silk nightgown smooth against her skin, auburn hair brushed to shine. The woman in the mirror bore no resemblance to Isaiah except in the sharpness of her mind and the determination in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered to her reflection, to Dr. Whitmore, to the universe that had conspired to reveal her truth. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, a merger to negotiate, a speech to deliver, a life to live authentically. Nevaeh would meet them all in designer heels and perfect lipstick, proving daily that transformation wasn't about becoming someone new. It was about finally becoming yourself. The city slept as she settled into dreams. Somewhere in the mountains, the retreat lodge prepared for another group of executives ready to discover their hidden truths. The program that had seemed like corporate manipulation had become something more, a catalyst for authenticity in a world that desperately needed it. Nevaeh's story would inspire others to take their own journeys with or without hypnotic assistance. But for her, the path from Isaiah to Nevaeh remained sacred, a transformation that began with mysterious compulsions and bloomed into magnificent reality. The executive who'd entered that retreat in a charcoal suit had emerged as a butterfly in burgundy, ready to soar higher than ever before. Her legacy would be measured not just in profit margins, but in lives transformed, glass ceilings shattered, and authenticity celebrated. The company had wanted diversity. They'd gotten so much more, a leader who proved that being true to yourself was the ultimate competitive advantage. As dawn broke over the city, Nevaeh slept peacefully, dreaming of tomorrow's possibilities. The journey from Isaiah to herself had been unexpected, challenging, ultimately liberating. And this was just the beginning. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.